This is the day before free agency. For those out there who don't know, free agency starts tomorrow at 12 p.m. and there has been somewhat a lot of moves that have been made already. And in this video, I'm going to break down what in the world or have the Atlanta Falcons done so far and what could they potentially do and the rumors tied to the Atlanta Falcons going forward. Now, to be completely honest, over the last few days, it's kind of been radio silence for the Atlanta Falcons. We really haven't heard too much about them or about potential players that they're trying to re-sign or sign for the first time. The Atlanta Falcons have been radio silence, and to me, this could be either a good or bad thing. A lot of people are leaning toward bad because they know Terry Fontenot's history, but I don't know. I just know they're very, very, very quiet, and it's kind of concerning, to be completely honest, because this year, we're seeing a lot of opportunities for the Atlanta Falcons to better themselves. Now, usually, like I said, the Atlanta Falcons, by this time, we probably would have heard the Atlanta Falcons either restructured or re-signed someone, but no, we haven't heard anything. But there are rumors tying the Atlanta Falcons to potential players, and there are rumors tying the Atlanta Falcons to potential losses. And so in this video, I'm going to break that down. Now, as we all know, the Atlanta Falcons need pass rush. That's been the number one, I would say, Achilles heel for the Atlanta Falcons over the past 20 years. And to be completely honest, this year there is a lot of free agent and trade acquisition options for the Atlanta Falcons. We all heard about the Trey Hendrickson. We all heard about Michael Parsons. We are even to the small effect of like Zadarius Smith. He's available. Now, there is news that happened today that will probably, I would say, not shock the Atlanta Falcons, but kind of make them jump back on their heels a little bit, and that is the Myles Garrett news. Now, today, Myles Garrett essentially came out and signed, him and the Browns signed a $40+ million a year deal. Now, this resets not only the current market for edge rushers, but this resets all other markets. Ja'Marr Chase was deemed to be the highest paid non-quarterback player, and because Myles Garrett just got $40 million, that number goes up for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I will say this: Myles Garrett was apparently on the radar for the Atlanta Falcons, and that's not happening. But the way that this impacts the Atlanta Falcons is that if the Atlanta Falcons find their edge rusher of the future, they are probably going to have to pay him around $40 million. Now, that may not be an issue going forward, but I just want to put that in perspective because Myles Garrett went out and signed this mega contract. The Atlanta Falcons, if they get a premier pass rusher, will probably have to pay $40 million. Now, names that come in mind when I say pay $40 million, I'm blanking on his name, guy, from Michael Parsons. That is a good example. If the Atlanta Falcons are able to trade for Michael Parsons, which apparently he's been deemed to be made available, and I'll tell you why, they would have to pay him $40 million. Now, that could happen, and the Atlanta Falcons could make room, but I'm just level setting this. Myles Garrett made a lot of changes in the league today, and because of that, that is just simple insanity. Now, another thing on the Myles Garrett coin is that because Myles Garrett demanded so much, Michael Parsons is probably going to demand just that, if not even more. Therefore, the Dallas Cowboys are probably not likely to sign Michael Parsons or re-sign him because they would have to pay him $40 million a year. And just because they got a $60 million quarterback and a $35 million receiver, they probably won't have cap space to retain Michael Parsons as well. So I think that move means Michael Parsons is on the move, which is a good sign for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, talking about the Atlanta Falcons going internally, what are some players that I'm seeing or what's some news I'm hearing about some players on the Atlanta Falcons? Number one, I've heard a lot of rumors about Drew Dalman. The Atlanta Falcons, recently I heard the Atlanta Falcons may be able to retain him for $13 to $15 million. This actually changed today, and I'm hearing that the Chicago Bears are strong suitors for Drew Dalman, and they will probably make a push to sign Drew Dalman. This can be found mostly in the tweet that says this, and this is by Jordan Schultz. Falcons free agent center Drew Dalman is also expected to have a strong market, with many around the league viewing the Bears as a serious suitor. Chicago has already added Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson and still has a need at center. So the Bears are interested in Drew Dalman, which is kind of insane. But like I said, if they're able to pay Drew Dalman above 15 plus, I know Drew Dalman is a great player, but I personally let him go and keep going on. Now, some more news. Like I said, the Atlanta Falcons need an edge rusher. They really, really, really do. And number one, Zadarius Smith has just been made available. He was released by the Detroit Lions, but I just want to flash up on the screen the amount of free agent edge rushers available for the Atlanta Falcons. Terry Fontenot could technically have his pick at who he wants. We all know about Harold Landry, who is a guy that we think is really, really good. I will put him as a tier A or B type pass rusher, but there's a lot of tier B and C pass rushers still available on the market, and I'll just flash this on the screen. I would love to see a couple of these guys get picked up by Atlanta Falcons. Maybe Trey Hendrickson. We know we want to see Trey Hendrickson, but if that's not possible, maybe like guys like Azeez Ojulari or Zadarius Smith or even Derek Barnett. Low-key kind of underrated guys that could give you that 8, 9, 10 sack per year production that the Atlanta Falcons truly need. And guys that aren't going to beat you over the head for $40 million, just like Myles Garrett just got, and probably just like Micah Parsons going to get. Other news today in the Atlanta Falcons, like I said, Von Miller just got released. Was that earlier today? I think, yes, earlier today, Von Miller just got released. He's another guy that for the right price, the Atlanta Falcons could bring in to solidify their edge rusher. This is the year where there is significant opportunity to get tremendously better. Is that even a thing? Tremendously better at pass rush. There are a lot of guys available on the market for pass rush. I feel like this is the most abundant pass rush free agent market that we've had in a long time. I think other positions are lacking, but we have to get aggressive at pass rush because there's a lot of guys available. Now, want to go to our board, Kirk Cousins. So not much news has happened on Kirk Cousins. We all know about the Geno Smith trade, which leaves the Seahawks maybe needing a quarterback. But also, I am hearing that the Geno Smith trade really kind of helps Kirk Cousins in a way. I know that the Raiders were potential suitors for Kirk Cousins, but there's a lot of teams out there who are quarterback hungry, and they would like a quarterback. And Kirk Cousins could be this guy. And this is wrapped up in a tweet by my guy, Rise Up Penix. He says the Geno Smith trade only emboldens the Falcons to wait out on Kirk Cousins trade. Sources tell they could get something for him. The Falcons know that. The rest of the league knows that. So the Atlanta Falcons, if they keep waiting it out, there is going to be a team desperate enough to need Kirk Cousins. And boom, we go from there. One other news source that I'm hearing is that basically the Minnesota Vikings and Seattle Seahawks are interested in Aaron Rodgers. There is a demand for quarterback play, and there's not that many quarterbacks to go around. I'm also hearing that the Giants, Jets, Seahawks, and Steelers and Vikings are interested in signing quarterback Sam Darnold. That's 5 teams after 1 player. I'm telling you, the Kirk Cousins market is there, and it's going to be there for the taking. So, but there's a lot going on for free agency. There really isn't too much, but there's a lot of breadcrumbs going along. And hopefully the Atlanta Falcons can figure something out about their pass rush and going to the draft, getting and securing some needed depth on the defensive end so they can make this playoff push. But if you agree or disagree, leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel. And if you want to see more videos like this, check this one out right here. And like always, peace.